take you floating on a river in golden age.
I have been asked to share my thoughts about life in paradise, how it was and how it will be once again soon, with particular emphasis upon transition, how we move from one life to the next. And I suppose the first transition we experience, which is the big transition, is the move from the soul world to the physical world. So coming from a region of complete silence, complete stillness, into a world where we have expression and we have experience. Coming from a place where we are in the incorporeal form, taking a physical body, and for the very first time experiencing the world, the physical world, through sense perceptions. So just imagine, just recall what that experience was like. Coming from a sea of silence and then landing into a fetus in a womb. And then as the physical body is born, for the very first time looking through eyes, and also hearing through ears, and of course taste, touch and smell. But just recall, just think of that very first experience when I, the soul, would look through physical eyes of this body costume. And just imagine what would be the drishti of your very first parents in the entire cycle. So let's say, for example, your very first parents were Lakshmi and Narayan, Lakshmi Narayan the first. So just imagine how clean, how pure their drishti would have been towards you. Such a clean feeling of welcome. So pure, so divine, no attachment from the parents, no sense of clinginess, no sense of possessiveness or ownership over you. How clean that drishti was, how inviting it was, and how easy it was to simply to slip into that body and become part of the family. So such a beautiful way to transition from the world of silence into the world of matter. And then of course, as life progressed, we learned how to use the physical body. And so learning to come into action and interaction, seeing how this body machine works, learning how to use the body for the first time, to use the legs, the arms, etc. And how easy it must have been to make that transition and become a human being. We formed relationships, we formed roles and responsibilities as we went through life. And then of course the time comes when it is time for the soul to leave that particular body costume, to leave that body machine. And Baba has told us that as the time approaches for the soul to leave a particular body, you receive a vision of becoming a baby. The vision will be, I will soon become a baby once again. And so you are prepared. You are prepared to leave, and also the family members would also be aware that soon it is time for this one to move on and to leave. And Baba has called this as a very easy and painless departure, rather like a hair being pulled through butter. And I remember once seeing in Madhuban, I think this was back in early 83, a bhakti film was shown in the meditation hall. And in one of the scenes that was shown, a king was departing. A king was about to leave the body. And the scene was this, that the king was lying on his bed in his room, his quarters, in his chamber, and the close members of the family and a few others were standing around his bed in a semicircle. And the king was giving and taking drishti from each one in that semicircle as a way of saying farewell. And then as he received and gave drishti from the last person in that semicircle, then the film showed how his eyes very gently closed, and the special effects demonstrated how the soul left the body and went away. And then the family members in the room, they just simply shuffled out of the room or gracefully made a departure, and that was it. And so no feeling of loss, no feeling of missing. One is very aware it's time to go, and now that soul has taken another body. And this reminded me of those amazing times when we used to witness how Bap Dada would leave the body. And sometimes you really have to pinch yourself to remind yourself that, wow, that actually happened. And we witnessed it so many times through our eyes. How royal was Bap Dada's departure, where he would, of course, be sitting on the gadi, on the stage, and many of the seniors, dadis, senior brothers, and so on, would be sitting around Bap Dada, and how he would just give drishti to all of those who were nearby, saying farewell in that moment of drishti, and then the eyes would close and he would depart. So for me, it was also like a kind of modeling. Bap Dada was modeling. This is how to depart. This is what a royal departure is like. And that's what we have experienced for so many lives in the Golden Age, in the Silver Age, simply moving from one body to the next to play the next role. And of course, why there is no pain, no suffering? Because there is no desire. And I'd like to share also an interesting anecdote I once heard, and I think it was Jagdish Bhai sharing this, where he described one of the differences between Golden Age and Silver Age. So consider the scene that you are a mother and your child in the Golden Age is playing with 4 or 5 other children. And you observe this scene and you enjoy seeing all these children playing together. And now fast forward the same scene in the Silver Age. You are a mother, your child is playing with 4 or 5 other children. But when your vision falls upon the child that you have given birth to, your vision lingers a bit more, and there is the subtle thought and the subtle feeling that, out of these 5 children, this one is mine. It's not even a word, it's not even a attachment, but that sense of being pulled towards someone or something is beginning to manifest. So imagine how clean we are in the golden age, where not even that thought or feeling is there with those with whom we may have spent many, many years. And so true Jivan Mukti, when we move from one life to the next, neither the soul who is moving on nor the family members feel any sense of loss. And Baba has also told us that the body is dealt with very quickly. With electricity, the body is finished. And so there's just the awareness of, it's a costume. I leave one, I take the other one. And so the whole matrix of life is so beautifully balanced and interconnected. Human beings, animals, birds, all of nature, the 5 elements, everything interwoven together in a wonderful tapestry, and each one simply offering the best of itself to the other. And since we are so clean in the golden age, it's as though the energy of life just simply moves through us, flows through us, and we don't block it in any way with any sense of personal desire. So even I wouldn't use the word transition. It's simply a continuous flow and a continuous sharing of our individual personal beauty, adding to the wonder of the great tapestry of life, the greatest civilization in human history, and that is the golden aged deity civilization. So I am Yogesh, currently in Istanbul. Om Shanti.
The crown of consciousness continues. We lived together for a long time with our kingdom family, and with the family of our palace. Time touches the body very slowly, and then the moment arrives to leave the body and take a new one. The crown of the family has been passed. A subtle shift is felt as child now becomes father, and father soon will become a child. Honored and honorable. It is a simple act of slipping from one costume to another, elegant, with ease and grace. We are aware of each other's presence, always. A cocoon of love encircles us as we sit, prepared for this sweet transition. I see my father close the eyes of his costume and gently slip out. A new body awaits in the mother's womb nearby for his sweet arrival. Feelings of love and togetherness continue when we see each other again. consciously creating a golden world.